In 2025, airports around the world have made big changes that affect how people travel. These aren't just small updates. They can change things like how early you need to get to the airport, what ID you can use, and how security checks work. If you don't know about these changes, you could face delays, miss your flight, or even be stopped from boarding. That's why it's super important to stay updated. Before we go over the full list of changes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more travel news, helpful airport tips, and tricks to make your trips easier and less stressful. Now, let's look at the most important airport changes every traveler needs to know in 2025. In major airports, facial recognition is now required for boarding. This new technology has become the standard in many international airports. Instead of showing your boarding pass or passport at multiple checkpoints, cameras now scan your face and match it with your passport photo to confirm your identity. While this might seem quick and easy, there's an important catch. You must already be signed up in a biometric system. If you're not, you could face long delays or be sent to special lines for extra checks. In countries like the US, UK, UAE, and Singapore, this facial recognition system is now mandatory for both leaving and entering the country. If you don't know about this rule, it could cause serious problems during your trip. That's why it's important to check with your airline and make sure you've completed the biometric registration before you travel. Digital health passes are still needed in some places. Even though many thought health checks would stop after the pandemic, some countries, especially in Asia and parts of Europe, still require these passes. These passes don't just show if you're vaccinated. They might also include proof of recent health tests or travel history. You usually have to upload and get these passes approved before you get to the airport. If you don't have the right pass, you might be refused at check-in. Travelers also need to make sure the QR code in their health app stays valid and can be scanned during the whole trip, especially during layovers. Some places still do random checks, and forgetting one document can ruin your entire trip. AI-powered security scanners are starting to replace manual checks at some airports. This means you might not have to take out your laptop, shoes, or empty your bags anymore, at least where these new scanners are used. These scanners use advanced imaging and smart technology to look inside bags without needing you to unpack. This should make security lines faster, but it also means the scanners are more strict and can find things that used to go unnoticed, like some liquids, smart devices, or even snacks. Some travelers have been surprised when everyday items got questioned by the new system. Right now, these scanners are only being tested in certain parts of some airports. So, depending on where you travel, you might still need to go through both AI and regular security checks. Dynamic baggage fees mean the price you pay for checked bags can change based on how full the plane is and fuel costs. For example, a bag might cost $30 if you check it in early, but jump to $50 just minutes later. The earlier you check your bag, the cheaper it usually is. This new pricing surprises many travelers who are used to fixed baggage fees. To avoid paying more, it's best to check in your bags online as soon as you can. Some airlines even let passengers bid for cheaper bag fees during less busy times, but if you wait to pay for your luggage at the airport, you'll often pay the highest price. To cut down on single-use plastics and help the environment, some countries have added rules about not just how much liquid you can carry, but also the type of packaging. If you bring personal care items, drinks, or liquid souvenirs, your containers must follow both size and eco-friendly rules. Many travelers don't know that biodegradable or non-approved eco-packaging can be stopped at security. Airports in countries like Germany, the Netherlands, and parts of Canada are leading these new rules. For example, even if you have less than 100 milliliters of liquid, if it's in a bottle that doesn't meet the eco rules, it could be taken away. These rules also affect duty-free liquids, which now come sealed in special tamper-proof bags that meet new biodegradable standards. Not knowing these rules can cause you to lose money and get frustrated. Smart trolleys are being used in many new airports. These are not regular luggage carts. They have GPS and motion sensors to track where passengers go. These smart trolleys help find lost bags and also monitor how people move around the airport to improve flow and security. But some travellers are worried because they didn't know their walking paths, stops, and even visits to shops were being tracked. While airports say this helps with safety and convenience, some people feel it's an invasion of privacy. Also, if someone stays too long in one spot, airport staff might get an alert and ask them to keep moving. Now, some airports require pre-approval for transit stops, even if you're just passing through and not entering the country. You may need advanced immigration clearance or a transit permit before you arrive. This rule is common in parts of Asia and the Middle East. If you have a connecting flight in countries like India, China, or Turkey, you might have to fill out a pre-clearance form, even if your stop is just a few hours. If you don't do this, you could be stopped from boarding your first flight or stuck in the transit area for a long time. Airlines don't always tell passengers about these rules, so it's up to travellers to check transit visa rules before booking flights with connections. Silent airports are becoming common to reduce noise and create a calmer space. Many airports now have a silent airport policy, which means fewer announcements over the loudspeakers. This includes important messages like gate changes, boarding calls, and last calls. In airports like Zurich, Helsinki, and Kuala Lumpur, gate updates are only shown on digital screens or in mobile apps. If travellers don't check their phones or screens often, they might miss important updates or last-minute changes. You can no longer rely on loudspeaker announcements, especially in silent airports. If you miss your boarding, because a gate change was only announced digitally, you probably won't be rebooked without extra fees. Boarding order is now partly based on digital behaviour. Some airlines and airports use AI to decide who boards first, not just by ticket type, but also by how early you check in online, how much you use the airline's app, and if you engage with their digital offers. This means that even if you have a premium economy seat, you might board later if you didn't check in early or ignored app messages. On the other hand, travellers with cheaper tickets who use the app a lot might board earlier. This new system is meant to encourage using digital tools and make boarding smoother, but it's confusing and frustrating for many who expect boarding to be based only on ticket class. To get a better boarding spot, it's now important to check in as soon as you can, download the airline's app, turn on notifications, and interact with any pre-flight options. Dynamic airport zones with limited access times are becoming common. Many airports now divide terminals and gates into sections that you can only enter during specific time windows. This system helps manage crowds and reduce busy areas, but many travellers don't know that arriving too early or too late means they might be denied entry to their boarding area. To avoid waiting outside or missing your zone, it's important to check gate access times in the airport app or your boarding alerts. These new 2025 airport rules are changing travel worldwide, so staying informed is very important. Missing just one update can cause stress, delays, or even denied boarding. For more travel updates, airport tips and hacks, be sure to subscribe and stay ahead before your next trip.